Okay, see you later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, right out of Oklahoma City. We got on a Monday night, who's usually not with us on Mondays anymore, but is back tonight. We got Ava
Not because I don't want to be.
I know, something always happens. And then we got JC, and she is joining us with the band A Light Divided. How are you?
I'm great. How are y'all doing?
We are fantastic. Where's the band from? Is it from one of the, South Carolina, maybe?
We are from North Carolina.
Okay.
And then our bass player actually comes back and forth from Tampa, Florida. So we're spreading out a little bit.
Yeah. How far is that drive from Tampa to North Carolina?
I think he said 9 hours unless you hit traffic, and then it's like 11, 12, 13.
So do you guys do a lot of band practice with your bass player there?
Pretty much we'll fly him in before we do a tour or a show or something like that and get a couple really good rehearsals in with him. And then he'll just practice on his own time at home. And it works out pretty well. So no complaints yet. Fingers crossed.
I guess.
How long have you guys been together?
The band has been together for way longer than I care to admit. I feel like we finally figured out what we were doing as a band in like 2015-ish, something like that. That's when we started like hitting the road, really doing all the things, finding, the right people and all of that.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your band, how you started, any member changes in the whole time you guys have been playing together, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think I was in a band prior to this one with my guitar player at the time. I was in North Carolina. I was looking for a band, but at the time, female fronted bands weren't really, popping. So every time I tried to join a band, they were like, "Oh, but you're a girl," and I'm like, "So." So I found James Lewis, our original guitar player, and he was the first one to kind of like give me a shot in a different band. And then once we started playing together, we kind of wanted to do something completely different than the band he was previously in. So we broke off and started A Light Divided. And then, when you start a new band, you get to the point where you have to feel a bunch of people out and find the right fit as far as members go. So here we are, 2021, locked and loaded.
Isn't that so lame? Like being a girl in the music world, like I don't know how many comments we have on YouTube. It's like, I wish a guy sang this. It's like,
what?
Why I gotta do that? Yeah.
I know, it's really so stupid. I'm like, who cares? Like, if it's a good vocalist, it's a good vocalist. Like,
yeah.
Luckily, there are so many strong women out there right now just killing it that I'm like, yes, future is female. Let's
when I hear a song play that I like the music, I like to, and I'm not a singer at all, but I like to put myself in that spot of a vocalist. I was in my car driving, and I've never really had a problem, even if it was a female vocalist. I never really had my problem putting myself in their shoe also and just singing along as if I was a singer of the band. But I wonder if that's maybe a big reason why. But I can't imagine, even, because when I was in high school, when we were looking for singers in our band, there was a couple females I wanted to try to have as singers. I always felt like it was kind of more unique, especially it's not as unique anymore. It still is, but back in like the earlier 2000s, I guess it was probably less common.
Like everything was like, oh my God, you're Paramore. Oh my God, you're Evanescence. It's like,
right.
That's your band, right? there's room for more than just that. Like, I love Hayley Williams and I love Amy Lee, but like, I don't feel like I sound like or make music like either of the two women. And like, they're great, but they already exist.
Right. That's how I feel. I get compared to Evanescence all the time.
Oh, that's so cool. I guess it's like saying the singer from Korn's getting compared to like some band that sounds nothing like Korn. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because they're both dudes. That doesn't make much sense.
Like, where is that? And it's like, we can sing about more than just breakups with boys. Tell me that all genders can't relate to that.
Right. Your voice is kind of cutting out. Go ahead. We can hear you now. What'd you say?
I was just saying, what part? Crap. I have ADD.
The part about singing more about than like breakups with dudes. I think that's what you said. Your voice kind of cut out. Is that what you were saying?
Oh yeah, like a lot of people think that like women in music only want to sing about their boyfriends and breakups and stuff. Well, we can sing about mental health, and I feel like all genders can relate to that. Or the struggles of just like finding your way through life, and just things that everybody deals with. It doesn't have to be like so gender specific just because a woman is singing it.
Yeah, I feel like that is probably I think people probably assume that's what a lot of women sing about. And that's not really fair, especially if you're in a rock band, there's all kinds of things to talk about. It's more of a pop, maybe more of a pop music thing. And even then it's not. Let's talk about your last song you came out with, the music video. Was that Radio Silence?
Yep, Radio Silence.
Okay, and when did that song come out? Was it last year?
Yeah, we put that out late September of last year. And that song is kind of about navigating your way, for me personally, like just through the music industry, just feeling like you're trying to go out there and make a name for yourself, and just sometimes feeling lost or ignored, and I feel like you can apply that in any sort of situation, whether it's you're at a job and you feel like you really deserve a promotion and you're constantly overlooked. There's so many situations where you can just feel lost and your voice isn't being heard. Like I said, from my personal experience, it's about being in a band, but I feel like I tried to write it in a way where it wasn't so on the nose, so that people could apply it to any situation that they were going through, just trying to cut through that static.
I love that.
That takes talent to be able to say something and write lyrics about it. Like, does it take you a long time when you're coming up with a song? If you're writing a song and you know what you want to say, does it take you a long time to figure out how to say it in a way that's not so in your face and relatable?
It's definitely a challenge. Luckily, I got to work with some really great producers on that song. Zach Williams, in particular, helped with the top line and some lyrics, and he is a fucking monster at like helping navigate what you want to say in the way that it needs to be said so that it could, apply to the broadest amount of people. Just kind of getting me out of my own head. He's genius. Love him.
That's so creative, man. I wish I was creative like that. It's so many different levels, I think I was more creative. Were you guys able to go on tour with Radio Silence when it came out, or are you still waiting to do
that? It was sort of obviously was during the pandemic, when very little venues were open, and it didn't seem, like the most responsible thing to do to try and do a tour. However, we were seeing so many venues go under because it was just hard to stay, open in like those unprecedented times. So we did a show at our home venue in Greensboro, the Blind Tiger, and also one in Spartanburg, Ground Zero, just to try to help, make some money so they could stay in business. And we went out prior to kind of see how they were doing things. We marketed it as like a socially distant evening with the light divided, so everybody had their tables and masks and everything. So we tried to approach it as responsibly as we could. But then everybody, I guess, thought that because we had such a heavy touring season in 2019, I guess they thought we would do more. Everyone was like, we need to book you here. I'm like, well, this was just sort of like a special event for the shows, just to kind of be able to reconnect with the fans after not being able to play because of the pandemic, and then do a show the next night being like, man, I don't know when we're going to be able to play again. So it was really kind of cool to the first night be like, fuck, we get to play again. And then the second night be like, damn, it's really taken in because we don't know when we're going to get to do this again. So it was a really cool night. Those two shows have like such a special place in my heart. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but like it was such a weird experience because like I said, the whole pandemic has just been so rough for everybody, and especially musicians. Like I know myself, after touring so much, being stuck in my room like this, just twiddling the I don't know who I am as a person anymore. So it felt really good to have just like a minute of normalcy for a weekend.
It's probably even a little bit more intimate, I would say, while you're doing some of these shows during COVID, because everyone that's there understands what's going on, and you're all there for one thing. So I'm sure that did feel pretty special. But I do want to ask you, because I saw you guys have played some bigger festivals in the past. Before this, and was it like Blue Ridge? Is that you played there before, right? Blue Ridge Rock Fest.
Yep, I think in 2018 or something like that, I believe was the year.
Okay, and you played some other ones. Out of all the festivals that you've played, like the bigger festivals, do you have one that you would say was your favorite, most memorable experience?
Yes. We played Rock Fest in Wisconsin on 2019, and we were supposed to be like the first band on like the side stage, and but it was such a rainy day, and it rained so long that they were going to cut our entire set because they just didn't have time.
No.
Yeah, and I was bummed. I literally had a moment where I was standing on the stage looking out at the fairgrounds, just like, wow, like this is a huge festival. I worked my whole life to be a part of this, just for someone to be like, yeah, you're canceled. But luckily our tour partners were the slot after us, and they split their time so that we got to play a couple of songs. And there is nothing like the energy of a festival where everybody to throw down and hear music. So to feel like you're about to be completely canceled from playing, to get all of that love from the audience right afterwards, it was just like a whiplash of emotion.
Yeah. Can you not play when it's raining?
So, we were luckily covered, but like the rain had subsided just long enough that we got to like squeak in like literally 4 songs. And I was so appreciative of it. I went so hard before, like, just because I felt like I had everything to prove at that point.
Of course. Speaking of, go ahead, Sam.
hey, Sebastian, do you want to play in the rain? We'll plug you in, and you can play in the rain.
I do. I will. I will play in the rain.
All right, you got to play like a guitar. You can't play drums because you're not going to get shocked. We want to watch your ass get shocked bad.
I'll play air guitar.
I want to play air guitar.
Speaking of touring, I've heard some horror stories with other bands, with a female front woman being in a band with all men, and it not being so fun traveling with men all the time.
What?
And them being gross and like, like not showering.
I grew up with a brother and all male cousins for the majority of my life, like until I was older. So like I've just grown up used to being around boys. So doesn't faze me at all, and I'm pretty gross. Like I'm like, oh, I'll skip the shower today. It's fine. I'll just use dry shampoo and baby wipes. I got this. We're cool.
Awesome.
Like, everyone's like, oh, you're the mom of the band. I'm like, no, I'm irresponsible as fuck. So.
Well, you know what, you gotta do what you gotta do. I do want to go play Radio Silence. I want to play that music video. Let's check it out. Sam's behind the scenes, so go ahead and play it.
Hello? Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Are you getting me?
Nothing.